And now we've got my voice that way. Oh, there's my mic plus. Hello.
There's something your
What?
sounds. It's not good.
Yeah. Okay. Does that help anything at all? Yay. Anyway, hoping your human voice has kicked in. Oh, well, that is good to hear. I'm going to turn this thing off. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe a weak Bluetooth connection or a wonky computer or any number of things. But thanks for helping me troubleshoot there, Charles. Yeah. Now you're on to me. Yeah. I am an alien. I'm a American in Kumamoto. Yeah. All right. While we're waiting for a group of people to jump on the bandwagon and come in here, is Mercy an alien? Yes, she is. She is an alien too. Not download. There it is. My Google Drive. That's where I keep things. Broadcast stuff, I think. And where are we at here? Oh yeah, space alien. Ah, okay. Well, that would be giving away too much information. Okay, let's see. Not that. Where is... Oh, there it is. I will educate you, whether you like it or not. Let's see. Where's... I heard your real voice. Yep. I've been discovered. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Teach you all about Japan. Oops, I want this one in the front, not me. There we go. Japanese gestures. The same night your president is talking to a joint address. Ah, my president? Are you sure he's my president? Yeah, that's just what you thought. Uh, okay. Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, oh, yeah. I come over here and come here and location. Kumamoto. And there we go. Save that. Close. And now what does it say? Still says no location. Why does oh, because I didn't select it? I just typed it in. Oh yeah, that's real clever there, Dan. Okay. There we go. Now I'm in Kumamoto, Japan. Good enough. Even though you were clearly born on Mars. Ah. Still got you fooled. You thought it was Mars. I'm not giving away my home planet location. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Japanese gestures. This is something that is kind of interesting here. Japanese use gestures. Japanese talk with their hands as much as Americans do, and certainly not as much as Italians do, right? Simon Alien Cinemal. That's right. Yeah. One of the better movies I've seen lately has been Paul. I like that movie, Paul. Who's the guy? Simon Pegg and his buddy there. I can't remember his buddy's name. And Seth Rogen was playing Paul, and yeah, it was anyway. It was a good. He'd probably wear a disguise. Yeah, maybe. You never see me. You may have heard my voice, but you'll never see me without my disguise. All right. So gestures in Japan. You never saw it, but you remember it. Okay, yeah, it's worth a watch. I thought it was a fun movie to watch. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting movie. All right, so Japanese gestures. What do these gestures mean? What does that gesture mean? Right? See somebody do that. Right? The wonky OK sign. It's kind of an upside down OK sign or something like that. What do you think? For all I know, what we see is just a vehicle like Dave with Eddie Murphy. Right? Yeah. That was okay. That's not my favorite Eddie Murphy movie, but yeah, it was entertaining. Yeah, Dave. Yep, Dave. That was it. So, what do you think? What does that sign mean? It does not mean okay, obviously. Any ideas? No clue. No Jacques Clouseau's. It's Golden Child, right? Golden Child, my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. And Golden Child was kind of a lot of fun. No, probably not a cuss. No, it's not a cuss. Japanese don't really cuss all that much. Golden Child, oh sure, yeah. The little kid, kind of a magical kid, and they're trying to get him to consume, or they kidnapped the kid because he was. I can't remember the details, but I remember there was a dragon-like thing in there, and a woman who was half dragon, and yeah. Oh, you go for those half dragon women, huh? Okay. 48 hours. Yeah, 48 hours was pretty good. Kind of like 48 hours. I also like Trading Places. That was a good movie too. I was 15 the year it came out. Okay. Yeah. Could be Mulan. Mulan? Was Eddie Murphy in Mulan? Um, Eddie Murphy. I mean, Shrek. Yeah, Shrek. He was, as far as voice acting, Shrek. He made a good donkey. Yeah, he was the dragon in Mulan. See, I didn't see Mulan. Yeah, didn't see Mulan. The thing about animation is Mushu pork. No. The thing about animation, when you watch it over here, animation is generally for children, or thought to be for children, and so they automatically dub the movie into Japanese rather than subtitles, because children, especially small children, are not going to be able to keep up with reading the subtitles, and so they dub it into Japanese. And I'm just not, even if I could understand it, I'm just not into listening, watching an American movie dubbed into Japanese. We're talking about children's movies. I mean, as far as movies aimed at an adult audience, yeah, the standard is to have them subtitled, so you can hear the actual actor's voice. But I think that maybe that more than the adults and children. I mean, that's part of it. But I think another part of it is, if you have an actual actor, a real person speaking, and then when the words don't match, then it's can be a little disorienting. But if it's an animation, then there is none of that. I mean, there is no, Shrek, the animated character doesn't have a real voice. It's obviously, the a voice actor doing it, so it doesn't really matter. It's less a dubbing as it is just an alternate voice actor doing it, speaking in a different language. So I think that's part of it also. Maybe. Well, where is everybody? I know I'm not scheduled normally to be here, but yeah, I thought that some people might show up. Happy to see you, Charles, but it doesn't make an exciting game if you're the only one answering the questions. Kind of know who's going to win. Takes away all the excitement. Animated movies are fair. I still watch animated movies, certainly. I'm happy to be seen. Yes, you are seen. Someone would swoop in. Maybe. Nobody's in the swooping business right now, honestly. But no, you don't play the game with just one. No, it's not a game. Yeah. I could compete against you, but because I really don't remember what the questions are, what the answers are, but yeah. And there has to be a solution to the lag. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I thought about. Yeah, I know it's not just you. I thought about rotating, or having setting up an order of answers, and then rotating, rotating through the list of players. But then what do you do when players come in late? And I think it would be maybe more confusing and maybe even more frustrating than the way it is now. Try a countdown. Yeah, but there's still a lag between the countdown and I mean, so it still seems, I don't know. Maybe that would work. I can try that. Have people on stream. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to do it. I've seen a couple other quiz games, not Family Feud, Friendly Feud type, but other, just kind of like a music quiz game. And I noticed lag. There was obvious lag in those games too. So yeah, I know it's. I feel confident that it's not me. Yeah. Want to become famous by followers and viewers on https://inlink.ru. Yeah, right. I don't think so. A longer countdown because it can be a lag of just seconds. Okay. But okay, so all right. So for example, the wonky so got this thing here. Reported the spam. Okay, I just ignore them. I mean, I guess I could block him or ban him or whatever, but I was noticing that these things that's coming from Twitch, and these Twitch, I don't know, maybe they don't have as rigorous of filtering for new people and so on, so they can make these spam accounts easily. But yeah, I noticed that they're different. I've had them. Usually, I have one appear in each broadcast. It seems, not always, I guess. Maybe about half the time I have one of those Twitch spammers join. Send a message. Just unless it gets to the point, there's so many of them that they're distracting. I don't worry about it. I mean, fortunately, they've got the little Twitch symbol or whatever there, so we know who it is, and so just ignore it. Yeah. I want to see a Danielson game. Yeah. I'll have to work on that. Oh, here, so here's my game. The Japanese gestures. Okay, can you guess the meaning of the Japanese gesture? This is the Danielson game. All right. So countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The wonky okay sign. What does it mean? The wonky okay sign. What does it mean? That's the question. I like to see original content. Well, hey, this is original. How many game shows have you seen where they ask you to give the meaning of a gesture? Anyway, so the wonky okay sign, it means someone has a lot of money. Money. You got money. Oh, money. Or has paid a lot for something. Something costs a lot of money, right? So you see somebody drive up in a new car. You say, oh, that cost you a lot of money. The Friendly Feud. Yeah. But I mean, I spend just about as much time as I'm really ready to invest, because I am a full-time college professor, I spend just about as much time preparing those Friendly Feud games as I feel comfortable with right now, and doing doing something more original would, I think, necessarily require more time. And let's see, the sign game look original, yeah. So doing my own survey of 100 people, we ask 100 Japanese university students, blah 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 blah. That's my sign. Yeah, okay. If you like it, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of react and reporting on the new. But there's a lot of react and reporting on the new medias. I mean, yeah, I could, do some kind of current events thing. What's happening in the world? Give my reaction to it. Give my opinion about it. I mean, yeah, if anybody would have any interest in my opinion, I'm not shy to give my opinion about things. Don't know if anybody really cares what I think, but that would be a possibility. I am thinking, inject the Daniel into a game, right? Yeah. I mean, I try to do that as we're talking about the friendly feud questions. I sometimes try to bring up a personal anecdote that somehow relates to it, or we kind of get into it, about the strange answers that the survey respondents give. Yeah, it can be kind of fun. Yeah, I like that. I like that part of it. So yeah, something maybe think about a game that would not be badly affected by a delay, a lag in the internet. One that would give me a chance to inject more personality into the play. Yeah. Clues for the gestures would be helpful. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean that's part of it. I mean, to me, the idea was simply, yeah, you look at it, and what could that possibly mean? I mean, when I first saw it, that I mean, when I know the answer is money, uh, okay, I can see, okay, money. We generally think of these coins, round things, as money, and so yeah, okay, I can kind of see that, but yeah, it's just I wouldn't know how to give a hint for that. And anyway, there aren't that many. I mean, this is kind of a one-off thing here because there just aren't that many different gestures. At least not that I know of. The glasses wiggle. You know that one? You have any idea what that would mean? Right? If you look at him, if somebody does that, like Judy, clues to the question are sprinkled in. Right? Yeah. That would be good if I got ambitious. So, what do you think the glasses wiggle means? Any idea? Can I have a lifeline? Sure, you can have a lifeline. It's what's your lifeline? It's the three lifelines. Uh, yeah, I guess giving you choices would be a good thing. I could have 3 or 4 choices of what it could possibly be, but then that puts a lot of pressure on me to come up with reasonable distractors for, uh, for possible choices. What would that possibly mean? I mean, I know what it means, so that that's another problem. I mean, if I had no idea what it means, I say, well, it might mean this, that, or the other thing. Um, what might that mean? Not pressure. Yeah, I don't know. So, does it mean that he has a headache, or that his eyes are bothering him, or he bought a new pair of glasses, or uh, indicating intelligence, or indicating that his glasses don't fit properly? How's that? There's five. Hot woman. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, yeah, I can see that. That's a good choice. Yeah. That's not the right answer, but that's a good choice. B. What was B? I was struggling to come up with answers. I don't remember what answer B was. Let's see, what was it? Headache, or my eyes are bothering me, or something like that. Maybe your eyes bothering me. No, that's not the answer. It was not the eyes bothering you. So what were the other choices I gave? I don't even remember. Uh, wasn't really focused on my help. So, oh well, you got to focus, right? I mean, that's the audience responsibility there. You gotta focus. All right. Well, yeah, the glasses wiggle. That is an indication of intelligence, right? Someone is smart, bookish, or has studied at a prominent university. Oh, oh yeah. You're talking to a guy and say, "Oh yeah, uh, Takahiro. He went to Tokyo University." Wiggle your glasses. Oh, he must be an egghead. He must be smart. He must, yeah. So he's boasting. No, no, no. This is talking about somebody else. Like I said, so like you're at a party or you're somewhere and you say, "Oh, you see that guy over there? Yeah, he went to Tokai University, or he went to Harvard, or something like that." Smart guy, right? Yeah, Japanese are not boastful. You generally aren't going to see them, tooting their own horn so much. Yeah. All right. All right, countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next one. What do you think that means? If it's good, then it's not boasting. That's right. That's right. Just like, you're not paranoid if somebody is actually after you, right? All right. So if you toot your own horn, um, got your nose, drunk, or quietly dissing. Yeah. All good choices, all good guessing. This is the one where, you know, um, it is at the nose there, and if somebody is being boastful, is full of himself or whatever, um, then they'll do that. It's like, oh, he's got a, in America we say, oh, he's got a big head, right? Well, here he's got a long nose, I guess. It's not used all that much because Japanese people generally aren't that boastful, But if somebody would be, then that might be a sign you'd see. I don't actually see this one very rarely. Like maybe I've seen it a couple of times. A million words in each to the last. Like I have long nose is about lying, right? Yeah, in America, I mean, because we get the Pinocchio story. They don't have Pinocchio story, or at least not as ingrained in their culture as it is in the West. All right, so let's see, what do we got here? Let's do another countdown. Go to the next slide here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Now, yeah, that is this one. This one you see more often. All knows about lying European toes. Oh, to boost. Baking. No, it's not baking. The symbol, the sesame grinders in Japan. A common topping for hot rice would be ground sesame seeds. It adds a little bit of flavor and more nutrition and fiber and so on. So it's a nice thing. It's a nice flavor to add to the hot rice, and so you grind up the sesame seeds and then sprinkle on top. Not only rice, but other dishes too. So grinding sesame seeds is something that is commonly done. Right, so that's what he's doing. It's showing, like a mortar and pestle type of, the old style grinding. Pinocchio is European, I think. Yeah, Pinocchio sounds Italian to me. Gaspetto, or what was the guy's name? Whatever. Yeah, all the names in Pinocchio sounded Italian. So boasts. Geppetto. All right. I know it wasn't gazpacho, but it was something like that. Gazpacho is Spanish, right? Yeah, gazpacho. Oh, I'd like some gazpacho. On a hot day, gazpacho really goes down nicely. Yeah. J sound. Geppetto. Hmm. So anyway, sesame grinder. What do you think? Boasts? No, it doesn't mean boast. Geppetto. Yeah. What did I say? Didn't I say Geppetto? Did I say Geppetto? It's not Geppetto. Yeah, just spelled with a G. Right? Yeah. Geppetto. You don't know any of them. Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, this is your Japanese culture lesson. Anyway, the sesame grinder. Like I said, the sesame grinder. That's like the equivalent of polishing an apple, right? If you're an apple polisher. Um, oh, is that what I said? Geppetto. Oh, yeah. I mess up people's names pronunciations all the time. I don't know why. It just doesn't stick. Stuck up. Yeah, no, it's not stuck up. It's an apple polisher is anyone can. Yeah. Um, an apple polisher, somebody that, yeah. Suck up. I'm sorry. Yeah, suck up. Yeah, exactly. Suck up. Suck up. All right. Yeah. I saw a T in there. Did you correct that? Maybe not, but yeah, I thought, yeah, suck up. There you go. Probably not. We're heading up to also. Oh, my buddy's not going to do his broadcast today. Silly boy. All right. Yeah, but that's what it is. The gesture shows someone grinding sesame, which is the Japanese equivalent of polishing an apple. That would be done by a teacher's pet in school before they give the apple to the teacher. In the same way, grinding sesame seeds for a superior has the same suck-up effect. It implies someone trying to brown nose or curry favor with someone else and can be used both jokingly and maliciously. Yeah, anyway. Oh. What do you think that means? And it, the gesture looks like he's waving his hand in front of his face like it smells, but that's not what that means. This one, probably guessable. He didn't edit that, so I just saw the T in there for some reason. Yeah. Rain, all right, rain. No, it doesn't mean rain. Maybe I've just seen this so much. I mean, this is very common. It's a very common gesture. So if somebody, you know, not it's not because they're trying. You know, they have to do like they do like tea in Japan. Tokyo. Yep. All right. Well, anyway, all this one means is no or different, right? Chigao, different, right? What you said, no, that's not right, or what you said, oh, it's different than that, right? That's all it means. No, different. Chigao, 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 chigao. Toyota, chigao, chigao, chigao. No, 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 no. All right, the next one, the weird hand wave, right? This one. What do you think that means? This one was a little confusing for me at the beginning. But again, this is one that you see all the time around here. That last one, the no or different, and this one are probably the two most common that you see of these gestures. And oh, hello, go and be on your way. Yeah, that's, you know, I mean, yeah, it's like bye bye here. You know, when we do that, it's bye bye. In Japan, it means just the opposite. In Japan, it means come here, come here. Right? Yeah, the one finger, you know, to come here. You know, they don't do that. In fact, that seems like kind of a rude gesture to them. Um, yeah, it's, you know, just this palm downward hand wave that means come here. Totally backwards. Yeah, Japan. I mean, everything is backwards here. Yeah. Or is it everything is backwards in America? It should be bringing the person in, right? Bringing them in. Yeah, come here, come here, come here. Get over here. Come on. Yeah. All right. And then let's see what we got. Point to the nose. Point to the nose. What does that mean? What do you think that means? Point to the nose. I'm sober. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Oh, that was your answer. I see. I thought you were just telling us that you were sober. Okay. Yeah. Sure knows. Yeah. No. No. That's not. That's not sober. It's not. Look at my nose. Yeah. This one is kind of. Yeah, it's me. That's right. You know, in America, you know, we point to our chest usually, right? Oh, me. You know, that's mine. Me. Right. But in Japan, it's point to your nose. Who? Me, you know, right? Not necessarily the question, me, but, you know, so if you ask, right, you know, whose phone is this? You know, they might point to their nose to indicate it's mine, right? So me, mine. Yeah. See, I put a bean at my nose. Hey, look, yeah. I've got 16 beans at my nose. Look. Yeah. We use our thumb. Oh, yeah, me, right? Yeah, me. That's right. See, I've been away so long, I even forgot how to refer to myself in America. Oh, I'm in trouble. Just can't go back anymore. Can't go back there. All right. So the next one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This one. Oh, this is a cute one. This is an interesting one. You know. the pinky finger sticking up like that. Yeah. What do you think that might mean? This one is common. Yeah, pretty darn common. How rude. No, it's not rude. Snooty girlfriends. That's right. So, you know, it's just a nonverbal way to talk about some guy's girlfriend. You have a right. So you got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, I guess. Or you meet your friend in the street and he's with somebody else, right? And so like that means that your girlfriend, basically. Yeah. Yeah, she should know that. She should. Yeah. Anyway, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next one is crossed fingers. Crossed fingers. This one has two meanings depending on where you are. Right? So, dame. Right. It can mean that. It also has another meaning. It has the meaning that in the Philippines, that has. In the Philippines, you'll see them go like that. Make kind of a box with their fingers, right? That's what this means in Japanese restaurants. Yeah, not allowed, right? Yeah, so the finger cross, like I said, one meaning is, yeah, not allowed. You can't come in here. Sorry. So for example, if a restaurant were full or something like that, you go to the door. Oh, sorry, it's full, or they're about to close. We're closing for the evening or whatever. Cross the fingers. The other one is if you're in the restaurant and you've finished and you want to leave, you want to check. Don't bring us any more food or drinks. Give us the check, please. Right? That's in a restaurant. So yeah, it has two different meanings. Stop our orders. We want the check. We want to leave. Yeah. And or yeah, sorry, you can't come in here. No, no good. No, dummy, you can't. All right, and the next one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This one, I mean, actually, this is just a variation on the last one. We don't even need to do this separately. This is, you can't do that. You can't go through here. Stop whatever you're doing, right? It's just like, this is, it's the X symbol, right? So this one, like I said, this one is generally used, is more common in, the restaurants or, in close quarters and so on. But, the large one, yeah. I know jujitsu. Now this is you can't come through here. So like the people that are directing traffic or whatever, there's road construction and so on, right? If the road is closed, you might have a guy up there, he's got his sign or whatever, no through street here or whatever. But in Japan, they just stand up there and do this, and that's what it means. Nope, you can't come through here. Can't come through here. Right? And it's the same kind of thing as the crossed fingers. Of course, crossed fingers, that's inside in a restaurant. It's like, I've had enough. Stop. I'm going. Give me the check. But this one is, nope, no good. Stop. Can't come in here. Can't do that. Stop whatever you're doing. Right? Yeah. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think there's one more. Oh yeah, this one. Just like he does there, right? Now, you would only see this in a place where there are several people, more likely a crowded place. I'm a robot. I'm a robot. Yes. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, excuse me. Exactly. Excuse me. I need to come through here. You know, like I said, lots of people. It's a crowded place. You need to get through. So when you pass in front of them or cutting through these people, you know, it's excuse me. Or for example, if there's a line of people and you need to cross that line, right? The line extends, and so you can't reasonably go around them, and you want to cut through them. Happens quite often at the supermarket, for example, during the busy times, the line of people with their goods in their baskets and carts lining up at the cash register, and you need to go through there, to get to another part of the store. You put your hand up, and you could accidentally touch something or someone that way. Yeah, you could, but yeah. Yeah, you could. Absolutely, you could. They're careful. Not a lot of contact, and they do that, to let people know. And so it's like, hey, if I do make contact, I'm sorry, but I need to come through here. Please excuse me. Yeah, and that was the end of my slideshow there. All right. What are we gonna do? You guys, you are my faithful viewers. So happy to have you guys here, but I've only got three if you count Mercy. If you touch something, you use two hands. Okay. Yeah, that's something. If if you give something to someone, you use two hands when you give it to them. Right? When a student hands in their assignment to the teacher, they'll use two hands. And it's the polite thing for the teacher to use two hands when they accept it. When you give a gift to someone, you give it with two hands, and they accept it with two hands. Even the little business card, that tiny little business card, you hold it carefully with two hands and present it to them, and they carefully receive it with two hands and take it. And then when you receive that business card, you take time to look at it. Even when they may be talking to you, and so you're listening to them, but you're also reading that business card as a sign of respect. They gave you that has some. Yeah, they are very polite people. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why I go back to them. I'm so used to being around these people that are so polite. When I go basically anywhere else in the world, I feel like, wow, a bunch of rude people around here, aren't they? I mean, it's just, it's not necessarily, it's not really that, the other countries are so rude. It's just the Japanese are so overly polite. That's just the way things are over here. You would not survive there. Yeah. It's, I mean, I still, I don't know. I avoid causing big ruckuses, but I'm sure that, I speak, I have a rather loud voice, and I get a lot of practice speaking loudly as a teacher in the classroom. I never use a microphone, even in rather large classrooms. I just don't use a microphone. I have a booming voice and I let it boom. And sometimes I forget that I'm not in the classroom in front of my students when I'm speaking out on the street or something. And Japanese will kind of look at me. Oh, he's one of those. Whether I'm speaking English or Japanese, they know that I'm not Japanese. I mean, one, by looking at me, but by hearing my voice, Japanese wouldn't speak that loudly. Yeah, but very polite society. Very boisterous. Yeah, bombastic. when you're at the supermarket or at or any cash register paying for your goods, quite often, I mean, some shops are more strict than others, but the oftentimes the lady, generally a lady working at the cash register, will fold her hands in front of her, make a little bow, and say, "Irashaimase," or kind of a welcoming greeting there, and then start to do your check out your, or register your purchases and so on. And it slows things down for a second or so, but yeah, even they're upset, still polite. That's right. Yeah, the Japanese are just, I mean, they don't like conflict. They really don't like conflict. They avoid it at almost all costs. And so if you are on the receiving end of some unfair practices, so I mean, if you or feel that you are being you know ill-treated at work or something like that, still, you can't, the Japanese don't don't really respond, as an American likely would, make a deal. Hey, they'd say something to somebody, make an appeal to a supervisor, or if it's a supervisor, go over their head, or file a complaint with their human resources, or whatever. Doesn't really happen here. I mean, there lately. Again, I think it's partly because of the worldwide, and especially the American influence, the sexual harassment things. There have been some women that have come out saying that men have made them uncomfortable and so on. So that has started, but they won't, generally, you won't see anyone directly confront the source of that discomfort, the source of that mistreatment, whatever so avoid confrontation. If you got a problem with your neighbor, you wouldn't go to your neighbor and complain to them. You would probably go to the so for example, if you're in a apartment building and the guy in the apartment next door plays a lot of loud music, you wouldn't go to them, you would go to the landlord and so on, right? I mean, not even the first time. In America, often we'll just knock on the door, hey, could you turn it down? In Japan, they won't say that. They'll either not say anything, or if it continues and gets to the point that they just can't bear it anymore, then they'll go to the landlord. Yeah. Are there still bathhouses? Yes, there are. The mixed male and female bathhouses are almost non-existent now. I won't say that there aren't any. They used to be, they never were common. They always were uncommon, but there was a period when those were not unheard of anyway. But yeah, today they have the Sento, which is a artificially heated, I mean, they use hot water heaters, gasoline, or I mean, fuel oil or electricity or whatever to heat the water. Mixed. Yeah. But I mean, it's just taking a bath, and that way, families could go together. Now families go together, but they have their own private little photos, so then, mother, father, and the kids can all, take the bath together. Sometimes even grandmother and grandfather, that might be, the whole family like that. I mean, it's a large, it's a room-sized bath, but so the Sento is the artificially heated water, whereas an onsen is naturally heated water. So much volcanic activity here in Japan that there are a lot of natural hot springs. There are a lot of natural cold water springs also. They're up toward the volcano. There's a natural spring that people go travel from miles around to go and collect the water. It's just there, the spring pouring out, and they got it set up so you can fill your water jugs there and get some nice fresh spring water. Um, but yeah, hot water springs are usually are often, at least, I don't know if it's usually, but at least often used to feed the uh, the hot water baths, the onsens. So yeah, there's no cost to them for heating the water, so that's nice. Of course, there's still a lot of maintenance and so on, and but yeah, I mean the Japanese onsens, it's a nice experience. I mean it's a little bit strange. I mean, I almost felt like I was back in high school, or junior high school or high school, after gym class. All the you go in and everybody takes a shower, before you change back into your school clothes and go to your next class or whatever. But um yeah, like I said, the mix baths are basically gone. You might be able to find some somewhere, but there used to be some. There used to be some. I'm just thinking of sitting in all that grunge with other people. Well, remember, um, you wash before you get into the hot bath, right? So in the Japanese onsen or the sento, right? They're basically the same thing. Just one is artificially heated water, the other is naturally heated. But anyway, so the onsen, the hot water bath is a huge area. I mean, it's like a swimming pool. Not quite as deep because you're not swimming in there, you're just sitting in it and so on, but so like the shallow end of a swimming pool, that whole place is that deep. And there may be, and some places there's water that is pouring into that constantly. So fresh water is constantly pouring in, right? Fresh hot water is constantly pouring into that pool of water, right? But so that would keep the water relatively fresh, but the water never gets really, I mean, obviously people are sweating in there. Yeah, everybody's naked, absolutely naked, right? But yeah, all around that are little shower stall, or the little plastic stools that you sit on, and then low to the floor, only about 2 or 3 feet off the floor, are the little shower, you know uh hand showers, right, that you use to shampoo and wash your body and so on. And people have washcloths and so on to scrub themselves up and get nice and clean, and then rinse off all the soap before they get into the communal water, right? So yeah, of course people are going to perspire in the hot water, um, but it's not dirt, it's not street dirt and things like that. And like I said, that the fresh water is constantly pouring in, and so the water is constantly being replaced. And even still, periodically they will shut off the water and of course scrub the entire, like cleaning the pool. They'll drain the bath and scrub it down, and so on. Yeah, same for public pools here. Yeah, exactly right. So it's like a public pool, right? So if you're not squeamish about going swimming at a public pool, um it's basically the same type of experience, right? Yeah, you got to be clean before you get in the shared water. Makes sense. Yours are not nude, yeah. And yeah, and your public pools, even the heated ones, are not heated to the extent that the ones are over here. These are heated to whatever. Oh, what would they be? I mean, probably 90, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess. Something like that. we're not talking about just taking the chill off of the water so that people are comfortable while they're swimming. We're talking about, this is hot bath temperature. And yeah, some people should only privately nude anyway. I do my jacuzzi at 104, 104 degrees. Okay, yeah. So there you go. Probably something similar to that. I don't know. I mean, an onsen needs to be, I can't remember. It's like it needs to be 35 degrees Celsius, I think. 34 or 35 degrees Celsius to be able to be called an onsen. If it's cooler than that, you can't call it an onsen. But yeah, typically they're, 39, 40, 41, the hot ones up to 42 degrees centigrade. So similar to your jacuzzi, I guess. Yeah. Your jacuzzi would be in the range of a Japanese onsen. Are they privately owned or state owned? I think they are, I don't know all, but yeah, basically privately owned. There may be some state owned onsens. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Certain areas, like, because again, the connection between volcanic activity and these hot springs. So there might be some land where there are hot springs on government land. Yeah. All the ones that I know of personally right now are privately owned. So that's my best answer. Yeah. Anything else you want to know about Japan? Usually, if anything is enjoyable, the states claim them for taxes. Yeah. Oh, just saw where Nestle is finally being shut off from stealing California's water. I thought that was a good thing to see. California, in the midst of a water crisis that's been going on for years now, and Nestle has been pumping out the water and bottling it and selling it. Yeah, the Arrowhead water, right? Yeah, I just heard about that. I mean, I heard about Nestle doing that years ago. Yeah, years ago. It wasn't 50 years that I heard about it, but probably at least 20 years ago that I first heard about that. And it just baffled me that it was continuing. Yeah, all for free. Yeah, exactly. So they take the free water and put it in a bottle and charge people an arm and a leg for it. Yep. Yeah, Nestle, I'm sure they're crying in their bottled water. Yeah. But finally it happened. I mean, obviously there, until as long as they were given enough in kickbacks to the right people, no progress was going to be made in changing things. So I guess finally somebody didn't get enough of a kickback and decided to throw a monkey wrench into things. I lived in Arrowhead for 13 years. So yeah, I think it would anger you, and rightfully so. I mean, they ought to be paying, reimbursing, but there's no way to I mean, they ought to figure out what their profits were from that whole endeavor and fine them that much, so that 50 years of stealing, basically stealing the water and selling it for profit actually profited them nothing. I mean, would be an appropriate thing. I mean, it's a company, it's a huge company. They have, their accounting records back that far. So just say, hey, all your profit, okay, fork it over. Have to go back to all the prior owners. Mm. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know a lot of details. I probably told you as much as I know already. So that's very, very little. Just that. Yeah, I knew the name Arrowhead. I knew. The Nestle. I wasn't clear on how long. I knew that it was for tens of years. And yeah, basically they're taking the money, bottling it, and selling it. Yeah, there were owners before Nestle. Yeah. Um, yeah. To me, clean water, water that is potable, that people can drink. Um, it's becoming a scarce commodity, and I almost feel that it should be like air, that people shouldn't be allowed to own the sources of water. It's just not right, because when we get to the point, and we are going to get to the point on this planet where there is not, and there already is, and not a lot of places that have enough clean water. Um, it's just not right for people to have to pay for something that is essential to life. Like, yeah, I'm sure you remember the old Schwarzenegger. Good debate for philosophy group. Yeah, it would be. Remember that. The Schwarzenegger, oh, Total Recall. That's it. Total Recall. Sorry, had a blank there. Yeah, movie Total Recall, when they went to Mars, and Mars was, all the city, people were living on Mars, but they were living in dome cities, and they all had to pay for the air because the air was being pumped in there because there wasn't any air on Mars and so on. Yeah, yeah. I thought that, when I saw that, my interpretation was that they were really, kind of hinting toward, what the world was going to see, not with air, but from water. So I kind of like that movie. I like the Schwarzenegger Total Recall better than the later one with what's his name, Colin Farrell. That's the guy's name. I'm terrible with names, both with remembering them and remembering how to pronounce them. I haven't died from getting water from a hose yet. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. But most of America, actually, Los Angeles, basically, if they weren't pumping the water in, would be a desert, right? But most of America has an abundance of water. Japan has an abundance of water. Um, Places like Brazil, have an abundance of water, but there are huge swaths of the planet, and the obvious ones like deserts and so on, the Sahara and so on, but all across the Middle East and India and so on, either there isn't water, or the water is undrinkable by humans. Um, and then, of course, the other problem is, in a lot of these developing third world countries where other city here is free. Um, Water, yeah, yeah. Water should be free, but yeah, the developing countries that are growing crops for export, and they are using a large portion of their usable water um, to irrigate, to grow these crops. And so basically what they're doing is they're exporting water, right? Those crops are using up a lot of water, and they're sending it overseas. Yeah, you can't go anywhere here and just get free water. You have to buy it everywhere. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's a bad situation. Like I said, water and air at least, ought to be free. I mean, I kind of think that we're at the point now where everybody in the world could be adequately fed, provided with safe water, and given an education. And it seems like that's what that ought to be the main goal of things that we are doing is take care of people to that level. I don't think it would demotivate people. People would still, they want more than the bare minimum. People always want more than the bare minimum. So people are still going to be motivated to be productive and to do more, and and so on. Um, if, especially if they're educated. They see potential both within themselves and in their surroundings, in the community, and so on. People are going to be more motivated, and it's going to be better for everybody. But then what the heck? I'm some kind of a crazy socialist or something. I don't know. Our schools here only teach to pass the test, not to learn. Yeah, and that's true here too. So I homeschooled my kids. Cool. Good idea. Yeah. I wanted to do more homeschooling with my daughter, but yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, there were a lot of things going on, but anyway, yeah, homeschooling I think is good. I mean, it's not a casual undertaking, as obviously you need to know what you're doing. Of course, you don't have to have all the answers before you start, but you need to be ready uh, to learn yourself as to what's the best way to go about things, and get familiar with the curriculum and so on. Yeah, my daughter went on to get 2 bachelor's degrees, one in linguistics. Cool. That's what my MA is in linguistics. Yeah, but we had to find a lot of answers. Yeah, I mean it's good for everybody. The parent who is homeschooling is learning a lot, maybe learning more than the children. Yeah, it's good. It's good, and if we could get to the point where the multinational conglomerates, the huge corporations, were not paying their administrators, ridiculously high sums so that they could distribute the wealth a little more evenly, so that a one parent could earn enough to provide a good life for themselves and their family, so that the other parent then could concentrate on the homeschooling, or the two parents alternate, each working half time or something like that, however that works. But I mean, the idea of one person being able uh, to earn enough to provide for a family, which is the way it used to be, right? But her vocabulary in grade school was that of a high schooler because of the one-on-one. Right. It is difficult. Yeah. My mother spent a lot of time with me before I started school, um, reading books together, um, doing mathematics together. I mean, my mother's uh, was no great student herself when she was in school, but I mean, we're talking about preschool. From the time I was like 2 or 3, she was reading to me and getting me to read, and doing mathematics with me, simple mathematics and so on. So I could, I could read and do addition and subtraction by the time I got into kindergarten. And I still do love to read. Yeah. So that gave me, that head start. So then I always felt successful in school. And that, so even though I was schooled, in the mainstream, the regular school system, but I was always put in the, the higher groups, if they stream things, I was always put into the higher groups, because I had demonstrated that I understood the materials and so on. And so that, the positive feedback and all that stuff, right? Yeah, it was good. My educational experience was pretty good, and I recognize that that's mostly because of the good start that my mother gave me. So I got to give her credit for that. Makes for a successful childhood and adulthood. Yeah. 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 Success, that's another philosophical question almost. Yeah. What does it mean to be successful? Yeah. I kind of feel disappointed at looking at people that, have these goals of, 6-figure incomes, or, and, or, 7-figure income, or, it's like they see these examples, these successful businessmen. Oh yeah, he started with nothing, the American dream, and now he's rich, or um, whatever. These professional athletes or professional entertainers or whatever, that become so rich, and it's like, oh gee, I want that too. Um, yeah, I never did want that. I never did want to be rich. And believe me, I was successful. I am not rich. I I was completely successful in that endeavor. Yeah, I'm not interested in being rich. I never did. Yeah. I have a nephew like that, but he spends almost no time with his family. Oh, yeah, yeah. Family. Family's important, but then again, I mean, family is so important. Again, this is almost a philosophical thing. Family is so important, understandably so, and rightfully so. Rich of love. Yes, yes, dear, I am. Happiness is important, right? Um, yeah, and I mean, the thing, yeah, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. I mean, yeah, the fact that a person is related to you by blood, is a thing. It's not nothing. It is a thing. And yet, yeah, who you choose to associate with, and who chooses to associate with you, almost seems more significant to me. Um, I mean, your parents may have chosen to have you, or maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just a natural occurrence. But they chose to have you, um, but they didn't choose what kind of personality you were going to turn out to have. They didn't choose your physical abilities. They didn't choose your intellectual abilities. They may have helped to enhance them, through, like the things we just talked about, tutelage and things like that. But yeah, your friends. You know, I'm an only child, so I didn't have siblings, and so to me, friends were extremely important. Um, like any kid, my parents didn't understand me, but my friends did. Um, and fortunately, another very fortunate thing is I had a good group of friends. A family is what you make of the relationships around you, not necessarily a belly button relationship. Exactly right. Yeah. And so, in a way, we need to expand our families to be more inclusive. Um, Yeah. You know, you used to hear stories that you don't as much anymore because it's finally, become, come around to be, but, like, families that, with a child that was, disabled, or even a child that was, for example, ambivalent about their gender, or whatever, or had um, homosexual tendencies or whatever, and say, oh, that's our son, we'll love them, whatever. Um, but a lot of times those people didn't have that open attitude, or, a lot of times they, even if it is a son, they wouldn't accept it. A lot of times they accept it as a son, but they still look at it as as an abomination and so on. Again, people need to be more accepting, as long as it doesn't mess around with you. If somebody else has a different opinion, okay. They have a different lifestyle, okay. Um, I mean, if so it's uh, but it's it's really confusing. And again, when we get into religion, because I wasn't Christian until I guess I was in elementary school. Um, my kindergarten teacher, again, like I said, I got this good start, and so my kindergarten teacher just thought I was brilliant and took an interest in me, and introduced me to Sunday school at her church, and so my parents, my mother especially, would bring me to the Sunday school, right? And then she's there, so stick around for church afterwards. Eventually that's how we kind of got into it, so raised with Chris, so from that point, being exposed more and more to Christianity and so on, but not from birth. And my parents got into it through me, really. But what I remember is, the Christians being rather aggressive about, their call to a mission to non-believers, right? Um, oh, that was always a big thing from as far back as I can remember. Oh yeah, we sponsor missionaries in Asia or Africa or whatever, to bring God's word to the people that aren't aware of it, uh, evangelism. Yeah. Um, that always bothered me. I mean, I know, with the mindset of a Christian that, God, Jesus said, spread my word, and he instructed his disciples to continue his work and so on. There were those kind of instructions. So, um, it's expected that, as all of us, as followers of Christ's teaching, that we're expected to, to go and, evangelize to the world. And yet, there, in that, the missionaries in that evangelism, there's almost, I mean, there's kind of a egocentric, part of that, okay, what I have is right, and so I have to educate you as to what's right. No question about, never questioning your own faith, which I guess that's what being a, strong believing Christian is, never questioning your own faith. Like, we're better than you, so take this and agree. Exactly right. It's like, yeah, we're right. You don't know, we know more than you, so we're gonna straighten you out. Um, yeah, that never did set right with me. That just really, I mean, yeah, if you believe everything that that the minister says on Sunday, if you that's kind of the attitude you're going to develop, but it just never set right with me. The we have we have Jehovah's Witnesses, and we have Mormons over here. Jehovah's Witnesses are actually mostly Japanese that have become Jehovah's Witnesses, again, through missionaries historically, but now, the missionaries don't really come so much. It's, the Jehovah's Witnesses are established here. I had one side of family, Southern Baptist, and one side Salvation Army. I had no choice. Yeah. Southern Baptist. Yeah. The church that my kindergarten teacher took me to was a Baptist church, Southern Baptist church. In Iowa, but it was, of the Southern Baptist. And yeah. Hello. Okay. Hello. What was I saying? I can't remember now. But yeah, just never sat right with me. And the best side are all traveling evangelists and evangelist musicians. Okay. Yeah. I mean, religion, belief in something bigger than us, and so on. I mean, that all has potential for a lot of good. Unfortunately, humans get involved with it, and has the potential for a lot of bad, which, history has shown us that, a lot of bad has been done in the name of religion. Every religion, Every religion. I'll take that back. I don't know enough to say that, but yeah, a lot of religions. Yeah. So, did we lose Charles? Charles got freaked out by our conversation here. I think it's been a while since I've seen Charles. Oh, all right. Yeah, look at Israel and all the fighting now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I had I don't know where he went. Yeah, I don't know either. Last night I had a guy from Texas. Mercy and I had broadcast our evening meal. We were doing this Japanese style. You're listening. Okay, cool. We were doing this Japanese style, what's called yakiniku. It's thin sliced meat and vegetables that are cooked on the griddle. The grill is there. It's a electric grill set in the middle of the dining table, and you just cook up the meat while you eat it and so on. And we're broadcasting that because it might be interesting to some people to see that style of eating. And then afterwards, I was just talking along for a little bit, and just responding to, yeah, it really is quite delicious. And we did it kind of a combination of Japanese Korean style. The Koreans do that, they grill the meat and then they wrap it up in what basically looks like a type of lettuce leaf, so it's a green leafy thing, and you wrap up, you dip the meat in some sauce and maybe put a few other vegetables like some grilled onions or something like that in there, and roll it all up, wrap it all up in that lettuce leaf and eat it like that. Quite delicious. Anyway, afterwards, I was just responding to people's questions, and got talking to some guy from Texas who we're talking about all kinds of different things, everything from the Vietnam War. I'm not really sure about the guy. At one point, he said something about being a Vietnam veteran, and yet he was off by a few years as to when he thought the Vietnam conflict actually ended and when America got out of the conflict. So I'm not sure that he was being completely honest with me. Be that as it may, he seemed to have been a more or less a fundamentalist Christian type thinker, relatively new Christian. I think it's only been, I can't remember what he said now, 6 months or a year that he's been a Christian. So he's reading the Bible, so now he's really into it, right? That first, the first excitement about something. So highly motivated and so on. But yeah, a lot of ideas that, we had very good civil discussion. But yeah, he had a lot of ideas that I couldn't. Texas is big on religion, yeah. Yeah, Texas is big on religion and capital punishment and football. Isn't that Texas? Oil money, religion, football, and a little too racist for my kind. And guns, yes, guns. Oh, that's one thing I was talking about. Yeah, they want to make it legal to carry concealed weapons without a permit. You don't need a permit to carry a concealed weapon or something like that. Somebody's got that on the table. Yeah. Another thing, it wasn't just religion we were talking about. We were talking a lot about politics, and he was talking theories, about what was it? We were talking about Nixon, and he was saying how Hillary Clinton was like one of the lead investigators in the Watergate thing, which maybe, I don't know, but Hillary Clinton was. I didn't notice that she was in that position that long ago, but I guess she certainly could have been, I guess. Well, she would have been quite young. So, a lot of things he said just didn't seem, no evidence, just a lot of these statements that he made. Yeah, I don't think he was, but I'm not. Yeah, right. That's exactly, I don't think she was. And what else? I can't remember. He was definitely a right winger, definitely a Republican, and had a lot of derogatory things to say about presidents, Obama and Biden. I don't even know Biden well enough to say anything about him. Yeah, and he was, talking up Trump. Yeah, Trump was trying to, make us independent of get us away from needing China and this, that, and the other thing. And Biden is selling us out to China and Ukraine. And, kind of, like just propaganda blurbs like that without any evidence, without any specifics about, how they were going about this and so on. Yeah. But again, being an American, I've got an American passport, but I'm not in Texas. All about America and Trump. Yeah, make America great again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Texas. I wouldn't squawk at all if Texas would want to become an independent country again. They were an independent country for a while. I wouldn't squawk about them going independent again. Yeah. You would move there if they did? Oh, are you all about America and Trump too? Didn't know that. You're a gun person. Oh, okay. Yeah, guns. Oh, yeah, we were talking about guns too. And I am anti-guns, but I'm not necessarily anti-guns in America. No, I knew you were a cop. I knew that you're. I thought you were retired, but I could be remembering incorrectly. Um, Maybe, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I knew that you were a police officer, at least at one point. Um, and yeah, so I understand that that kind of attitude, that kind of thinking related to guns. But my perspective is so I grew up with guns in the house, but they were hunting rifles and shotguns. My father grew up during the Depression era, and hunting was a way to supplement both the meat on the table as well as income. Hunting foxes and things like that. Retired now, I thought so. Yeah, hunting foxes and so on, and selling the pelts for additional income. Right. So having a gun in order to be able to do that, made sense. But as far as um, handguns, we never had handguns in the house. Um, Again, I lived in Iowa. There wasn't that much crime. I was not only in Iowa, but in rural Iowa, small town. Basically, everybody knew everybody else. My friend um, lived in downtown. They never locked their house. The house was always wide open. Of course, he was the preacher's kid. His father was the Presbyterian minister, and their house was next door to the church. But still, never locked the doors. Wild boars are taking over areas of Texas and destroying the ecosystem. You can go there and shoot them from a helicopter. I would love to do that. Yeah. Beat cop did you make detective? Japanese cop did not carry gun. Right. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, in Japan, I'm very, very happy that people don't have guns. I mean, and actually, it's kind of weird, because Japanese, like I was talking about before, Japanese are very non-confrontational. I mean, they do just about anything to avoid a conflict. If they had a gun, okay, no, I mean, they wouldn't. What do they need a gun for? A handgun? I mean, you can have guns. You can have hunting guns. And in fact, I know people that have registered guns and go hunting. They hunt deer, and they even hunt bears and wild boars in the mountainous areas, in the wooded mountainous areas in Japan. So it is possible to have guns here, but handguns, the handguns that are basically meant to shoot another person, they're meant to be small, portable, more or less easily concealed. Yeah, there's no purpose for those other than to harm another person, basically. Yeah, protect someone. Yeah, but in that protection, the implication is that you're ready to use that gun to harm someone so that they can't harm you. Okay, but again, if nobody has guns, right, and then that's if nobody has guns, which is the main point. Already in America, I mean, America owns what, 30% of all the hand weapons in the world, or something like that. It's just a huge, huge number. Um, Maybe it was 2/3. I don't. What, I can't remember what the number was. It's just a ridiculously high number. Americans own a very, very large portion of all the world's handguns, right? Um, so going back from that, it would be a long, arduous, difficult almost. I mean, I see it as just an almost impossibility. But like I said, I'm so happy to live in Japan where people don't have guns. The only people that have guns are, policemen, and only limited, special situations, the armed forces, and the yakuza, the mafia here. Yeah, that sounds terrible. Yeah, so if we criminalize guns, only criminals will have guns, right? Um, which is the case here in Japan. Um, you can print your own gun parts without anyone knowing. Yeah, yeah, getting very, very dangerous here. Um, but yeah, although only criminals have guns in Japan, that part of the phrase almost fits. But the criminals basically don't mess with regular people. I mean, they're into these big crimes, smuggling or this, or all these different kind of things. They don't muck around with people. If they did, then the police, and because the police basically know who these mafia people are, the same as American cops basically know who the players are. The big, if they started messing around with the regular citizens, then the police would get involved. But basically, the gangsters use guns against other gangsters. And so, if you hear about a shooting in Japan, or someone killed in Japan, is probably that a conflict between rival gangsters. So yeah, only criminals have guns, but criminals only use guns more or less against other criminals. So since that's not part of my world, I don't really worry about it too much. Yeah, we have guys who break into homes and kill people with knives or guns just for a few bucks. Yeah, yeah, or even for kicks. You got some twisted people. Not to say that America is the only place that has twisted people. Every once in a while, I was saying, Japanese basically avoid conflict. But every once in a while, so you're pushing down your emotions, right? You don't blow up, you push it down, and every once in a while you hear about a Japanese that just goes off and they don't have guns, but they may have a samurai sword collection, and he goes in and grabs one of those and walks to the closest shopping center and starts hacking on people. Or, even, little old ladies or little old men, they get in their car, and it's all of a sudden they just had enough, this crowd, what do these people, get out of my way, and they'll just hit the accelerator and run over, a dozen people or something like that. And these are very, very rare. I can count the number of incidents like that, on my fingers. I probably need both hands, but then again, I've been here in Japan for over 30 years. So, 8, 10 incidents in 30 years, you've got incidents like that happening every year in America, that many. So, don't they take their kids to the ocean and commit suicide with them, or is that China? Sometimes we forget our door closed. Yeah. My wife was saying, yeah, we've several times, just, running out of the house and have left our door unlocked all day. If somebody came and they noticed that the door was unlocked, they wouldn't say anything. No, suicide. Yeah, suicide. Don't. Again, that goes back into what I was saying about the Japanese avoiding conflict, pushing down their emotions. Something bothers them. Well, and for a lot of people, they can let it dissipate. It doesn't build up and fester and so on. But this kind of pressure, this kind of restriction, doesn't fit. I mean, there are lots of different. Obviously, of course, there are lots of different personality types among the people in Japan too, and for some of them, it's just not a good fit. And yeah, a number of people commit suicide. About the ocean, I mean, all kinds of different ways. Of course, they don't have guns, but like jumping off of a tall building. They go up to the top of their apartment building. You got a 10-story apartment building, and they'll jump off the top of that. Or hangings are not uncommon. Yeah, the ocean thing, and yeah, it's not common for parents and children to do family suicide, or the parents kill the children that commit suicide. It's I won't say that it has never happened, but it's not like a common occurrence, anything like that. Although I would guess that, yeah, probably I'd have to look at the numbers, but I would guess that there are several suicides on average every day in Japan. Um, I think they're, I don't have those numbers. It's just, not one of those things that I'm interested enough in to have the research. Um, I just hear about it every day due to work, so I always see the worst. Yeah, I mean, there's a place not far from Tokyo, a forest that is known as, I mean, I can't remember what the Japanese name is, because again, this just isn't. It's just on the fringes of my radar of things to know about. But it's called the Suicide Forest, basically, or referred to as the Suicide Forest, and people go there specifically with the intent of committing suicide, and so they put up postings and so on, and yeah, it's well known. I can't remember. You probably know about as much about it as I do. Um, but yeah, so I mean, suicide is an issue in Japan. Um, there's a lot of societal pressures here, and those societal pressures are what keep people in line. America, it's like, oh, yeah, my brother spent time in the pen. He's, he had a rough patch or whatever. Um, oh, Black Eyed Dog is here. Yeah. Oh, that was Black Eyed Dog that said that. Again, how the comments, the comment themselves are large, but who wrote it is very small. I should have noticed the icon was different there, right? Sorry about that. Yeah, but welcome, Black Eyed Dog. Yeah. Who's a good boy? Okay, you guys. Oh shoot. What was I saying now? Can't remember what I was talking about. Anybody else want to come up? I'll invite you up. Oops. Let's see. I can invite anybody up. Here we go. Invite you up. Invite you up. Did I invite you up? Who have I got invited? I'll see who I've got invited now. Yeah, I got all three of you guys invited up here. Good enough. Good enough. Want a busy forest. Yeah, we were talking about the forest. Can't come up. All right, no worries. Everyone in Japan knows someone who took their own life, is what I believe you were getting at. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's common. Yeah, again, because yeah, I was talking about the guy, in America, if your brother, gets sent to the pen, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with you, right? I mean, we recognize that as Americans, but in Japan, the social stigma extends to the whole family. So, if there's a black sheep in the family, the stench, propagates to the rest of the family, and say, oh, you're the one whose brother did such and such, and so you got that. So it's not only when you commit any kind of an act, you don't just think about the effect that it's going to have on you, but about your family, and even to a certain extent your friends. Oh, you were buddying around with him, I know you used to always, so but thanks. Big C for biscuit. Oh, big C. Okay. Ha. Okay. Gotcha. Because he's a dog, right? Dog biscuits. Okay. Every once in a while, Charles's comments go over my head, but eventually I usually catch up. Not always. Yeah, but what I was saying, so this social pressure, again, like I said, it's, your mistakes are not just your mistakes, but your whole family's. And so you're really, there's a lot of pressure. Yeah. Honor is big in Japan. Yeah. Um, yeah, but again, because of that pressure, people, not everyone can take that pressure, not even if you're born into it and grow up with it. And and so yeah, suicides, and even junior high school kids, oh geez, I failed that test. And or oh, all my classmates hate me, I keep getting bullied by at school. And they'll commit suicide. Vicky, all hard sounding, and you aren't the only one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it is sad. Like I said, I mean, bullying is not a small problem in Japan. It's a pretty big problem. I mean, bullying happens all over the world, I know. Seppuku, yeah. Seppuku, harakiri. Yeah, the that's the traditional ceremonial suicide with the sword pulled across the stomach, and then you're decapitated by your assistant. Right? Yeah. The comment goes over my head. Yeah. Uh, Kamikaze pilots. Yeah, kamikaze pilots. Yeah, those are more well known than they deserve to be. I mean, it was a tiny little experiment that didn't work. I mean, they didn't have enough planes. They didn't have enough pilots, and so they tried it a little bit, out of desperation, and it didn't work. But it's not like there were just hundreds or thousands of these kamikaze pilots. I mean, mostly they were young and mostly inadequately trained. They were only trained basically how to get the plane in the air and point it in some direction. Once they could do that, so you're talking kids, 14, 15, 16 years old, I think, were used. Because like I said, most at that point in the war, corrupt officials also commit suicide, right? Corrupt officials, or not even necessarily the corrupt ones, but if someone who is under you is found guilty of something, of some corruption or something like that, well, you let that get by, so you're guilty by association, and because you were the superior in that situation, you take responsibility for it. And um, yeah, well, it can be, yeah. Pearl Harbor was a mistake. Yeah, I mean, I guess. But again, Pearl Harbor wasn't a one-off. What was it? Midway, was attacked, and I mean, they hit several different places. Pearl Harbor was first, but then like later that day or the next day, yeah. I mean, they were ready to go at it. They thought if they knocked America to her knees, especially when America was distracted in Europe, they thought that they had a chance to. I mean, it was a miscalculation, but in the same way that Germany was feeling strangled in Europe, Japan was feeling strangled, and the need for more resources in order to develop to the extent that they wanted to. I mean, it's not a justification, but you can come to kind of understand the thinking behind that type of decision, mistaken as it obviously was. Yeah. The Battle of Midway, but that's when America went back to basically take it back, right? Initially, the initial Japanese attack on Midway. Now, I could be wrong. I'm no history major, and I'm not all that interested in war. So maybe I should just stop talking about this. But I think so soon after Pearl Harbor, other places, were attacked by the Japanese, American, United States possessions in the Pacific, and the Battle of Midway was basically when America was coming back to take it back, I thought. Yeah. Attacking Pearl was what brought them into the war full on, brought America into the war full on, right? Yeah, yeah. Because Japan had been, that was a mistake because, mistake, but again, it was a calculation. What I was just saying, so Japan has already been fighting, abusing China and Korea, for years already, atrocities there and so on. Hitler was stupid with Stalin, right? So those kind of, things going on, and Japan, moving into, Philippines, Indonesia, and so on. Taking over, a lot of these islands, expanding, trying to gather, get more resources and so on. And if you look at, that time, okay, so America is engaged in Europe, right? And if the Japan looked at America and knew, okay, America's, when it gets cranked up, it's going to be pretty tough, right? If Japan, continues to expand, and America can concentrate only on Europe, it's not dividing its attention between Europe and Asia. If America can, help its European buddies and take care of that, then, they can concentrate completely on Pacific. And then Japan felt that it had no chance, against America. So they thought, well, if we strike when America's attention is divided, it's focusing partly on Europe and partly on Asia, then maybe, before, maybe that will slow down things in Europe, the victory, the Germany will be more successful because of less support from America in Europe. And that might give Japan enough time to collect enough resources and build up to the point where maybe they could stand up to an America who has now been weakened by a prolonged war in Europe, right? So coming around the Pacific was pretty clever and such a surprise, yeah. Yeah, Hitler was stupid with Stalin, yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on there, yeah. Hubris would be my guess, yeah. They had the pact. Only supplies, though, no boots on the ground, right? Coming around the Pacific, yes. Pretty clever and such a surprise. Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise, like I said, Americans, had their eyes on the Pacific, but again, they were, a lot of their, the majority of their attention was taken up by Europe, and what was going on there. And so, yeah, the stealth with which the Japanese prepared, and to the extent to which they prepared and carried out the attacks on Pearl and other American targets in the Pacific was quite impressive and quite a surprise. Yeah. Clever again. Yeah. They were clever in the way that was the decision to do that clever? Well, it's arguable that, going to war, is never a clever thing to do. I don't know, maybe not never, but yeah, most wars are not really what you would call a clever choice. Um, they outwitted us. They caught us ill prepared. Um, they caught us ill prepared for that. Mm. Um, yeah, I think America really thought that they would have more warning. Um, I mean, I've heard the people the idea that the American government knew that the attack was coming and they let it happen in order to spur the American people into a full-fledged war frenzy, to get the American people 100%, because people were divided about World War II, the war in Europe. um, should we really be there? That's over there. We can help them out, but should we be sending troops and so on? Those kind of things. Um, did the American government actually know about Japan's Pearl Harbor plans? Or maybe they didn't know about Pearl Harbor, but they knew that they were going to make a move in the Pacific, and they allowed it to happen, like I said, to spur the American people into being more pro-war, supporting the war effort at home and so on. They could have stomped Hitler into the ground if they hadn't kept say okay, but no further. Yeah, we still bombed the hell out of them, but they did start out well. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we bombed the hell. When was the bomb in 1945? 1945 is when the bomb I mean, but before that, I mean, everybody talks about the two, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. 45, yeah, Hiroshima, Nagasaki are the big one, but I mean, arguably what they did to Tokyo was worse. I mean, the firebombing of Tokyo, and just, I mean, a much larger population, a much larger civilian population, and I mean, but it's the same type of thing that was seen in Germany, Dresden, the bombing of Dresden and so on. You know, and that's what Germany and Japan both underestimated, is America's ability to crank up our factories and produce these huge amounts of ordnance, these huge amounts of bombs and weapons and so on. Um, I mean, our boots on the ground, I know were significant. I know that was big, but I think it could be argued that the biggest contribution of America was our production power that we were able to bring to the table, and producing those huge numbers of bombs that were dropped all over, the huge numbers of airplanes and tanks and so on, the huge number of guns. um, I mean, yeah, the American soldiers that participated there, the boots on the ground there, it was not insignificant, but I think but America did not save the world. Well, I mean, yeah, the world, nobody saved the world because the world hasn't been saved, right? I don't know. What specifically do you are you referring to there? America did not save the world. I mean, yeah, we did a lot to bring a conclusion to the war. Um, we did a lot, yeah. Save the world? No, no, not save the world. Yeah. Um, yeah. The world saved itself, especially the Soviets, British, and Canadians. Go Canadians. That was my team, the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah. And the Soviets, I mean, America, be right back. Okay. Good for you. Whenever you manage to come back, that's cool. America, could have probably done more in Europe. 24 Stanley Cups. Yep. Yep. Quite a a fan is probably overstating it. I mean, hockey was not big in my area. I could barely skate. And my friends and I played a little hockey, just friendly games, a pickup game with with 6 or 8 guys, divide up into 2 teams, and on the in the city park that they just had a in the city park they had a ridge, an earth ridge around the edge of the flat half of the park, and the fire trucks would pump water into that, and nature would do the rest. And so all winter long you could skate on there. It was in the center of town, so it wasn't like it was getting a lot of wind swept and so on. So it was fairly smooth, but not ice rink smooth. So I never. Your area was Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. South of Minnesota. Not too far from Chicago, only a 6-hour drive by car from Chicago. But yeah, I mean, sports, hockey was, hockey. That's what they play in Minnesota, was the Iowans' attitude. We played football, or baseball or softball, a little bit of basketball. Yeah, actually quite a bit of basketball. We had some pretty good basketball players. Yeah. But wrestling was the real Iowa sport. Okay, still pretty far from hockey. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I said Canadians, that was my team. I mean, meant that, when I was paying attention to the results. No, no, we only got 2 or 3 people here, so it's better with more people. Yeah. What? I leave for 2 minutes to war, and now we're on sports. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we got there. I said something of, we were talking about the war, and especially the Soviets, Brits, and Canadians, and Canadians. Yeah, I was a fan of the Montreal Canadiens, and just went from there. But yeah, I don't know enough about hockey. Hockey and soccer, just almost unknown in Iowa when I was growing up. I don't remember even seeing soccer balls being sold in the sporting goods stores. I really don't. Volleyballs, yes. Footballs, all kinds of baseball equipment, even hockey sticks and pucks you could get. But yeah, yeah, why not? I mean, if I was going to root for somebody, I had a favorite football team. My football team was the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know why, but my favorite baseball team was the Oakland Athletics. My favorite basketball team was the Boston Celtics. And my favorite hockey team was the Montreal Canadiens. Um, yeah. Soccer. I didn't know anything about soccer. I guess I'd heard of Pele. I'd heard of soccer, but I don't recall even watching games of soccer on television. I mean, I remember hearing on the news they'll be talking about, oh, Pele did this or that and something. Athletics and Celtics makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Athletics at the time. Um, let's see. I started. Oh, I tell you what. The athletics. Uh, well, actually, I like teams that I thought were going uh, to perform in the near future, right? So the athletics. I got into the athletics in 1970. And I thought, oh, this is an interesting team. I like I like the personnel that they've got there. Right, yeah. 71, Catfish Hunter pitched a perfect game. Right, and that really got my attention. That's when I was hooked on. I said, okay, Catfish, all right, and then so I started following closely then, and then yeah, 72, 73, 74. So I actually got on the bandwagon. Right, because I didn't know anything about hockey, right? That's this is kind of what I'm getting to. I knew a little bit about baseball. I thought, oh yeah, I see good things happening for the Athletics. I liked their bright colored uniforms, the Kelly green and gold and yeah, so all kinds of different things. And then uh, the Celtics, a long history. They weren't the champions when I started following them, but again, they one of the greatest dynasties in sports. The Boston Celtics. So. And they weren't at the top of their game when I started following them, but then again, they had some really good years, and so I just supported them the whole way. Uh, you know, um, the Athletics, after the 1974 World Series, Charles Finley, the owner, basically started selling off the entire franchise, trading them away. Jackson went to New York and I, where all did everybody go? Raleigh Fingers, did he go to New York too? And Catfish Hunter, anyway, all the people, went all over the place, but I knew guy, Bert Campaneris was great at stealing bases, Sal Bando at third base. I mean, I knew all those guys. That was a great team. Like I said, I was following them before they won the big one, 3 times in a row there, Um, um, so like I said, the Canadians were more, by default, what little I knew about hockey said, yeah, these guys are good, and um, said, yeah, I'll support them. Milwaukee, that sounds familiar. Yeah, could be. Yeah, Raleigh Fingers with the big handlebar mustache. He did that because Charles Finley offered them, like $100 a game bonus if they wore a mustache. He wanted to go back to the old style, um, the old handlebar mustache style, and I think, yeah. I think Raleigh Fingers was one of the few that took him up on that. The only one that really maintained it after that. But, yeah. Yeah. What I remember about the Oakland, so not the Yankees. Now, I never liked the Yankees. Never liked the Yankees. No facial hair policy forever. Yeah. Um, really? I thought Reggie kept his mustache when he was playing for the Yankees. I was on patrol and doing biz checks, I would always buy packs of baseball cards to collect. Yeah, I used to buy baseball cards and collect those. I wonder, I have a feeling that my father threw them out. Like, this is a waste of money. He's like, oh, Dad, these are going to be valuable someday. And he just couldn't see it. These are pieces of stiff paper with some guy's picture on it and a bunch of numbers on the back. Oh, nobody's ever going to want those. And yeah. Yeah, of course. I was collecting it. Yeah, during the heydays of the Oakland the Oakland A's. There, the 70, 71. I had a 1971 Catfish Hunter. The year that he won, or the year that he pitched the perfect game. I had most of the athletics from the 72. Not all of them. Most of them from 72. I collected them for several years, focusing on the players that I liked. Didn't know enough to collect the ones that would necessarily be the most valuable. But again, I went off to college and, left stuff at home. And then my parents moved during the time that I was in college. They moved from one place to another. And I had other things on my mind rather than my baseball cards at the time. So yeah, I just I know they got, with my father's attitude about them. So I'm not hauling these to our next place. Those are going in the garbage. I just know that that's what happened. Yeah, he wouldn't have sold them. He wouldn't have known who to sell them to, which is so strange because my dad was kind of a antique aficionado. He didn't really know all that much about it, but he was always fascinated by them and always looking out for something that he thought would be an antique that he could buy cheap and sell for a profit. So with that kind of attitude, why he couldn't appreciate the baseball cards, I don't know. But I mean, my dad used to keep like Indian head pennies, right, and the Mercury dimes and things like that. The old coins. Yeah, but yeah, I guess he was the collector, and that wasn't to be for me. I don't know. So what else is going on in the world? Yeah, we still got cloudy, rainy days here. Like I said, this is my oh well. Yeah, oh well. This is my day off here. It's a holiday. It is the Showa Emperor's birthday today. The Showa Emperor. The Showa Emperor, he was the one who was on the throne during World War II, right? And, like I said, he was emperor for over 60 years, the longest of any reigning Japanese monarch. So, and his birthday just happened to come now at a time that fits in with Japanese holiday plans. No parades in the street? Don't think so. Don't think so. Not for the emperor's birthday. I mean, they do the parades and they got the big festivals and stuff like that. Not for the emperor's birthday, I don't think. It's basically just oh, good, we got a day off. Let's go to the driving range and practice our golf. Yeah, I tell you, the Japanese practice more than anybody I know. I mean, I'm terrible at golf. I played a little bit when I was in high school. I had a friend who enjoyed it, and his father was a golfer, and so I used to play a few rounds with my friend once in a while. In high school, even into college a little bit, because it only cost $1 to play golf. But Yeah, you play around at our university golf course. The ground fees was the green fees was $1, right? So that was nice. Um, I was never any good, but I never went to a driving range. I never practiced. I just went out and played a game. But the Japanese, they spend, I mean, hours and hours and hours practicing at the driving range, just hit bucket after bucket of balls, and they'll go to the putting practice and do that for hours and hours and hours, get their form down, and they'll read magazines and watch videos and so on. And then maybe once or twice a year, they'll actually get out onto the course and play a round or two, It's, yeah, it's just crazy. The Japanese are good at preparation, I guess. I mean, look at Pearl Harbor, right? They prepared pretty well for that. But you know, like bicycle riding, I mean, I don't see Japanese bicyclists, if they got, like you know, a racing style bike or a cross country bike, something like that. You don't see them out there in their t-shirts and cut off blue jeans, right? They've got the almond shaped helmet, and they've got the tight spandex shirt, and they've got the tight spandex bicycling shorts, with the padded seat on it, and they've got the bicycling shoes and everything, and the yellow tinted glasses, and to keep the bugs out of their eyes and so on. I mean, and they just get really serious about it. I mean, they tend to not go halfway. Say, oh, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to ride a bicycle. Well, you don't just go out and find yourself a beater and start riding it around to get a little exercise. It's like you go all in. Or, yeah, they're not just riding to the store to get mom a bottle of milk. Yeah. Well, I mean, so there are, the kids that ride their bicycles to school, right? Or, the mothers that ride their bicycles um, to take their kids to school or something like that, take their babies to daycare or something, I mean, you do have what are called the Mama Charlie, which, basically just means a bicycle that looks like a mother would ride it, and but even the students, most of them ride the Mama Charlie. um but yeah, once you get to those, the guys that are even a little bit serious about it, then there's nobody that's a little serious about it. Either the bicycle is just, yeah, to go and run to the store and get a bottle of milk, or get to school in time for your classes, or you're all in. You're looking like, the Lance Armstrong, look-alike type of deal. It's just, there's no middle ground. That's for sure. There's no middle ground. Yeah. I mean, when I bought a bicycle, I didn't want the Mama Charlie thing. I wanted something a little bit nicer, and it was hard finding, something, in the middle ground there, so I ended up buying something a little more than I needed, a little more than I wanted, and then the bicycle guy, oh, well, you're going to buy you have a helmet, right? I said, no, I don't have a helmet. I mean, I got a motorcycle helmet because I've got a little 50cc scooter that I ride around. I got a helmet for that. Oh, but that's not right for riding a bicycle. You need a bicycle helmet, right? I need one. Oh, I mean, yeah. People that buy bicycles like that, I mean, everybody, you got to have it. So he talked me into buying a helmet. He didn't talk me into buying the spandex, all that stuff, but yeah, it's weird over here. Yeah. But the helmet, actually, it's a good deal. My wife was riding a bicycle to her work all the time. It was far enough away that it wasn't an easy walk. And my wife doesn't have a driver's license. Um, and so she used to ride her bicycle to work all the time. Now she's within walking distance, so she walks. But at that time, she didn't. And she was hit by a car, or what was it? I think a car turned sharply in front of her, and so she ended up running, the unavoidable running into the car. The car didn't check, and so on. And obviously flip plop flop onto the pavement and so on. And fortunately she didn't, bang her head real hard. She fell on her shoulder, and banged up her shoulder pretty good, and some scratches and abrasions and so on. And didn't break anything, but like stretched tendons, and yeah, it was not good. She was taking pain meds for a while and so on, and going to rehabilitation. But from that time, she started wearing a helmet. She said, "Yes, dear, I think I need a helmet." And I said, "Yes, I think you do too." Helmets do help, right? Yeah. I mean, in her case, it probably wouldn't have made any difference because, like I said, she didn't slam her head against the concrete, but she very well could have, and it could have been a very, very different outcome, without a helmet. So now, yeah, both of us have our helmets, and we always wear them when we go bicycling. So I guess that's good. I guess that's good. Yeah. So is Charles still there listening? What about Black Eyed Dog? All right. What do you guys know about old movies? Charles knows old movies if he's still around. What Audrey Hepburn film saw Hubert de Givenchy bring the high-bosomed princess dress without sleeves or belt into vogue? If they're on the East Coast, it's almost midnight. Yeah. I'm listening from your office. Okay, cool. What? All right. So, an Audrey Hepburn film saw Hubert de Givenchy bring the high-bosomed princess dress without sleeves or belt into vogue, right? So obviously the thing is, Audrey Hepburn was in a film and she wore a dress which was a high-bosomed, right? Yeah, Breakfast at Tiffany's. There you go. Say Charles knew. Yep, woke him back up, brought him back into the game here, into the fold here. That's the only one I know. That's the only one you know. Come on now, What about Charade? What about A Shot in the Dark? That's one, a later one. Yeah, Charade. Charade's actually one of my favorites. Breakfast at Tiffany's was okay. Don't know movies at all. Okay. Givenchy. What did I say? Did I say yeah? Givenchy? Givenchy. Givenchy? Hubert de Givenchy. Anyway, I do. I'm lucky if I can pronounce English words. So if you got some foreign name in there, no way. Gavinci. You'd have to hear it. Remember, it's like French. Gavinci. Yeah, but it's spelled Give. That's give. Given. Given. Givenchy. All right, it's Givenchy. It should be Givenchy. I'll teach these people how to pronounce their own names, right? Yeah. Gavinci. Hello, Brian. Hello, Brian. Hello, Brian. All right, here's one. What U.S. president was nicknamed Dutch in his younger days? This is one that might be guessable. This man was president during my lifetime. Nevada. Reagan, that's right. Oh, that's right. Reagan was Dutch. That is right. All right, what do you know about strange cocktails? What combines with Tia Maria to make a Tia Mumu? I was only 8 during Reagan. Oh, well, yeah. I was already an obnoxious tween. What do you think? V8 juice with Tia Maria? Tia Maria, do you know Tia Maria? Tia Maria is kind of like Kahlua, but different. I think it's a coffee flavored liqueur. So I don't think that the V8 juice. Oh, milk. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. You had the answer there. Milk is the answer. Right on. Yeah. All right. What do we got? All kinds of questions here that nobody knows the answers to. Okay. How many spears are there on Kenya's flag? Oh, this one I know. Leche. Yeah, there you go. How many spears are there on? Yeah, 2. Right on. Yeah. And they're in a cross pattern with a shield, right? An oval shaped shield, and then the 2. I think that's Kenya. 3. No, it was 2. It was 2. All right, this is okay. This one you can guess. What 1976 remake? So we're talking about a movie. Okay, what 1976 remake moved Dino De Laurentiis to say, "Nobody cry when Jaws die, but when the monkey die, people gonna cry"? So, what movie? Kong, right? As in King Kong. That's right. King Kong is the answer. Yeah, monkey die. I thought monkey. Planet of the Apes. No, it was Kong. It was King Kong. Yeah, I think we've got a lag going on here. Make sure I'm on the good network. I'm on the good network. I'm getting it out there as quickly as I can. But all right, let's see. What war? You guys know war? Any war history buffs in there? I am not. But anyway, okay. So, what war saw the Cunard liner Athenia become the first ship sunk by enemy action? Okay, the Cunard liner Athenia. 2. Bay of Pigs. 2. What war? Oh, World War II, you mean? Is that what you're saying, Share? World War II? World War One, because okay. So yeah, 2. World War II is the answer. That's right. World War II is the answer. I wasn't sure if that's what you meant. I was suspecting. I got my sibilant stuck there. Yeah, I was suspecting that that's what you were saying. Yeah. Yep. The Cunard liner Athenia was the first ship to be sunk by enemy action. Okay. Taking a shortcut. Okay. Good enough. Okay. This one actually I could guess. All right. Let's see. This is an art and literature question. So, are there any art and literature people out there. Uke was the art and literature person, right? She around? I guess not. Okay. What 19th century novelist deserted a whaling ship at the Marquesas Islands and was captured by cannibals? Really? Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, I remembered she was, all these questions that I couldn't hope to answer, that she was popping right up with the answers almost instantaneously. Yeah. You have answer? Okay, let's hear your answer. 19th century novelist deserted a whaling ship. Oh, I have no answer. I have answer, no answer. Okay, all right, gotcha. You have no answer. There you go. All right, but think of it. All right, so the big hint is whaling ship. Melville. There we go. Black-eyed dog is back at it. Yes, Melville. Herman Melville. Yes. Um, the Marquesas Islands. I had no idea. I knew that he had worked on a whaling ship. That part I knew, but I had no idea that he was captured by cannibals. So interesting. What about this? Oh no. Do pigs have sweat glands? Do pigs have sweat glands? Yes or no? Just type a Y or an and. What do you think? Y or and? Do pigs have sweat glands? Got a no. Yes. No. Glad to see you're so confident there, black-eyed dog. Yeah. Do pigs have sweat glands? The answer is no, they do not. That's why pigs. Yeah, no. That's why pigs like the mud. Because that's how they keep their body temperatures cool. The mud. Right. Exactly. Hence the mud. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I think they have more than one stomach. Could be. A lot of animals do, right? Cows have 4. Chickens have the gizzard, which isn't really a stomach, but it is kind of a pre-stomach type of thing, replacement for teeth kind of thing, to grind things up. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the animals especially animals that eat a lot of grasses and so on, like deer and so on. I think they have more than one stomach also. I'm not sure. You have 7. 7 stomachs? Okay. 7, that's a good number. How many pieces of chicken are there in a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken? Bucket of KFC, how many pieces? All right. Who's the KFC addict out there? 18. 8? All right. It's somewhere between those two answers. It's not 18, it's not 8. It's somewhere between those answers. 12. It's between Share and Brian's answer. 12, 11, 14. Wow, you guys are really bad guessers because you still haven't hit it. It's 16. No, it's between Brian's last answer and Black-eyed Dog's last answer. No, not so. It's between Brian's answer of 14. There we go. 15. Yeah. You guys. Oh, I mean, yeah, hitting all around it. You're the guys that I want to play Battleship with. I can just see it. It's a miss. It's a miss. It's a miss. You're guessing. You're never going to hit the thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Battleship. Anybody have a Battleship game? Have you got Battleship? Oh, Battleship. I'll buy a Battleship board. Yeah, you buy a Battleship board. We can play ourselves some Battleship. Yeah. Heck yeah. Battleship. It's a great game. Yeah, and that would work. I mean, of course, it's not going to work for multiple players, but it would definitely work as a virtual game, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's something we'll have to work on there. Oop, drop some pegs there. Get those out of the way. There we go. Okay, yeah. I think my folks' house in a closet, just like when we play Uno. Yeah. Yep, it would work. It would work. It would work, absolutely. What country has the world's highest arson rate? In other words, the word, I mean, that's pretty plain. What country has the world's highest arson rate? This is not extremely surprising. What do you guys think? U.S. U.S. is the answer. That's right. U.S. The United States has the world's highest arson rate. A lot of people that love fire. I mean, a lot of insurance, fraud and things like that, so. Yep. Insurance. Yep. All right. Do you guys know the TV show Upstairs, Downstairs? Has anybody heard of the television show Upstairs, Downstairs? It's an old show. No, nope. Okay, so that question is not going to go very far then, because it was asking what was Mrs. Badger's job on TV's Upstairs, Downstairs. So that's not going to go very far. You're not as old as dirt. Vaguely BBC. I don't know. I don't know Upstairs, Downstairs. That's why I ask you guys. Because I couldn't even give you any clues about that. The answer was, oh yeah. I mean, you could guess. Yeah, you guys are such good guessers, right? That you might be able to guess. It's not retail. It's not a maid. Although maid is close. Let me say that as a hint. Maid is close. The butler did it. No, cook. That's right. Cook is the answer. She was the cook. Who knew? Whoever made this question knew. Okay. All right. Here's one. History, people. History. What color plane did Manfred von Richthofen make history in during World War I? Manfred von Richthofen. Red. Right on. Right? Red. The Bloody Red Baron. Yep. The Red Baron and his triplane. Right? Anyway. Okay. Red rum. What Austrian city's the setting for Shakespeare's Measure for Measure? Any Shakespeare fans out there? I love Shakespeare. I love Red Baron pizza. There you go. That's close enough. Measure for Measure. You guys know Shakespeare, right? You've heard the name. He wrote this story called Measure for Measure, and it takes place in an Austrian city, Vienna. Yes, that's right, Vienna. Yeah, if you're like me, you don't know that many Austrian cities. So if it wasn't Vienna, you'd be in trouble. So yeah, Venice is Italy, right? Venice. That isn't Venice the one with all the canals? Yeah. I mean, spelling wise, they're pretty darn close, but yeah, I think we're different. Anyway, okay, all right. What's the great and proud claim to fame of the metal lithium? Okay, so what is true about lithium? What is very special about lithium? Makes you crazy. Li. Yeah. Looking for some. So, all right. The hint is. The hint is metal. Okay, makes you not crazy. Yeah. I mean, as a therapeutic use as a therapeutic drug, right? That lithium. But talking about the metal lithium. What is special about this metal lithium? It floats on water. Why does it float on water? Why does it float on water? I mean, you basically got the idea there, but why does lithium float on water? Low density, oxidizes. Yeah, it's of all the metals, of all the elements that are metals, of all the metal elements, it is the lightest, right? It is the lightest, right? So the lowest density, the lightest metal is lithium. So there you go. That's our science for today. Everybody feel that you've become educated now? Good. Okay. All right. This is one for the game players among you. All right. You need a lithium now. All right. Here's one. See if you can answer this without cheating. Okay. Can a Risk player, the game of Risk, can a Risk player attack Scandinavia from Greenland? Can a Risk player attack Scandinavia from Greenland? Never played Risk. Oh my goodness. Brian says yes. Black Eyed Dog, yes. It's either yes or no. Anybody else want to guess? Charles, aren't you a Risk player? Take a risk, Charles. Give an answer. Share says no. Never played. Never played. Oh my God. That was one of my all-time favorites. All-time favorites. In fact, I even found it on computer so that I could play when I couldn't find anybody to play against. But actually, the answer is no, because between Greenland and Scandinavia is Iceland, and you have to go through Iceland to travel between those two in the Risk game. So yeah, it's no. So share, you got it right. You got it right. All right. What else we got? Let me just pick out some good. What continent? So what continent, right? North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, what continent would a bottle thrown into the Japanese current likely wash up on? What continent would a bottle thrown into the Japanese current likely wash up on, right? So you have a bottle, right? Your message in a bottle, you throw it into the Japanese current, and where is it going to end up? USA, right. USA, the continent there, North America, exactly right. North America is where it would end up. If you throw it onto the Japanese current, it'll end up in North America. All right, here's one. We still get stuff from Japan. Yeah. Like the radiation leaking out of Fukushima nuclear plant that was damaged by the tidal wave. Yeah. You get all kinds of stuff from us, don't you? Literature question. What comic strip? Okay, comic strip. So this is trivia. remember. So this is a trivial comic strip. Okay, what comic strip features Skeezix and Uncle Walt? Skeezix. Do you guys remember Skeezix? I don't. Salzburg is Austria. I was doing other things. Oh, what kind of things are you doing? Gasoline Alley. Wow. Wow. How did you know that? I did not know that. You know that. Gasoline Alley is right on. Beetle Bailey. Yeah, no. Yeah, Gasoline Alley. Very good. Huh. Are you a comic book lover? Because that's, yeah, cool. Are there more male or female alcoholics? Are there more male or female alcoholics? So is alcoholism predominantly male or female vice? Male, female, female. Tom Flores was a fan. Okay. Male. So 50-50. It's male. More alcoholics are male. That's all right. Ladies, it's equal opportunity era now, right? So you too can become an alcoholic. Don't feel just because you're a woman that you don't have the same right to become an alcoholic, right? Equal opportunity. I'm sorry, that's kind of morbid and terrible. All right, let's move right along here. Uh, More alcoholics that get caught. Yeah, true. Yeah, the women are sneaking their little nip of gin, right? Yeah, maybe. Which way does a baseball forkball usually break? Which way does a baseball forkball usually break? To the left. No. I mean, there's only so many directions that it could break, right? So it's not left. No, it's not left. Usually, they say usually it breaks not left. Low and right. Right. No, it's not left and it's not right. Only a couple of reasonable choices left. High center. High center. You guys. No, I mean, it's either left, right, up, down. Okay. How's that? It's not left or right. Low center. Low. What is this? A low center. All right. So, I mean, all right. Okay. Yeah, down. Right. That's what they say. Down. It breaks downward. Okay. I don't know. I couldn't throw a forkball to save my life. I mean, actually, I do remember seeing when forkball was popular. Some forkball pitcher was really doing well years ago, probably 40 years ago. I remember reading about forkballs. Push the ball deep into your hand or something, and you hold it with only two fingers, or something. That's why it's a forkball. I don't know. All right, let's see. What do we got here? What state boasts the only coral reef in the continental North America? What state boasts the only coral reef in continental North America? Continental North America. So Hawaii is not part of the North American continent. Now, Hawaii is not part of the North American continent. California, no. So if it's not California, Florida. That's right, Florida. Yep. I didn't know that. California seemed like a good guess to me, but it is Florida, so they say. All right. Here's one. I mean, at least I've heard of this television show. So this is a television show song. Television show question. At least it's a television show I've heard of. Which of TV's Cagney and Lacey answers to the given name Christine? No, if it would have been Alaska, that would also be the North American continent. So It didn't have to be contiguous states, just the North American continent. TV's Cagney and Lacey was a cop show, right? So, Lacey, no. Lacey is the blonde. I don't know. I honestly don't think I ever watched this movie. Cagney, right? There you go, Cagney. It wasn't Lacey, so who is it? That's Cagney. That's right. It is Cagney. Sharon Gless? Was that one of the actresses' names? I swear, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of Cagney and Lacey, but I don't think I ever watched it. I mean, like maybe not even one episode. Yeah, Cagney and Lacey. All right, how about this? The detective Nero Wolf, right? The detective Tyne Daly and Sharon Gless. Okay. Sorry. What kind of flowers does Detective Nero Wolf raise? What kind of flowers? So we're looking for the name of a flower that the Detective Nero Wolf used to grow. Orchids. Very well done. That is right. Orchids is the correct answer. I would have taken me dozens of guesses to come up with that. Oh, maybe not. I don't know dozens of flowers' names. The orchids would probably come up. I mean, roses, probably not dandelions. So yeah, orchids might have been my second guess. Yeah, no, it's orchids. It's orchids. Yeah. Um. All right. Here's one. How quickly can you answer this one? How many bends are there in a standard paperclip? How many bends are there in a standard paperclip? 3 is the answer. Share. 3 is the answer. Well done. Oh, people seem to think it's 4. Not in a standard paperclip, I guess. Standard paperclip, they say it's 3. All right. Who was... I used one today. Oh, there you go. You had the advantage. Who was world heavyweight boxing champion for 11 years, 8 months, and 12 days? So that's a relatively long time to be world heavyweight boxing champion. Ali, no, that was going to be my guess, but that's not the right answer. Daisy, calendula, marigold, tulips, carnations, yeah. Clay, no. Lewis, that's right. Joe Louis. Joe Louis was champion for a long time. Yeah. What do I know? I did not know that. I barely remember hearing about Joe Louis. Never saw him fight that I recall. Who make up the biggest ethnic group in Yugoslavia? Who make up the biggest ethnic group in Yugoslavia? Yugoslavians. Russians. No. All right. The hint is it Croats or Serbs? Serbs is right. It is the Serbs. The Serbians are the biggest ethnic group in Yugoslavia. The Serbs. That's right. It is the Serbs. All right. So, what year did Monty Hall start on Let's Make a Deal? $1965. No. 1978. No, older. Older. 69. No, older. Older than any answer so far. No, older than any answer so far. 1963. There we go, Charles. That's the answer. 1963. I was 3 years old when Monty got started. Yeah. All right. History. All you history people out there. What year did Germany sign its non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union? What year? No, it was before World War II. Before World War II. $1940. No. 39. Okay, you're cheating there, giving two answers in one, Charles, but it was 1939. Yes, 1939. Okay. Hmm. All right. Got any good Bible scholars out there? Anybody, really close with your Bible? Let's see how you do with this question. Close should count. Only in horseshoes, hand grenades, and the one that you love, right? Um, so who is Joseph's younger brother in Genesis? In the book of Genesis, who is Joseph's youngest brother? Joseph's youngest brother in Genesis. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Adam, Bob, Jacob. No. Judah. No. Um, it's not an uncommon name. Let's see. Benjamin. There you go. Benjamin is the answer. Benjamin. Larry. Larry. Yeah, good old Larry from Genesis. Yeah. Yeah, there was Jacob, Judah, Bartholomew, Benjamin, Joseph, and Larry. Could have been. I wrote the Bible. Well, anyway. Jacob only counted. Yeah. That's right. What do insects do through their spiracles? 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 Breathe is the answer. Yeah. Breathe. Insects breathe through their spiracles. Well, there you go. I guess the hint was in the question. Do through their spiracle. Spiracle sounds like a tubular type thing, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. But wow, not anything that I knew. All right, let's see. All right. This one. I was gonna thought it was too easy, but I'll ask anyway. What are a boxer's meat hooks? What are a boxer's meat hooks? Right. When you talk about a boxer's meat hooks, what are you referring to? Jabs? No. Meat hooks. Not the punch, the hook, but meat hooks. No, not jabs. Not jabs. Fists. There you go. That's right. Yeah, the fists. His fists are his meat hooks. And we've seen that in movies, right? Get your meat hooks off me, right? Get your meat hooks off me. They're talking about get your hands off me, right? Your meat hooks. So boxers' meat hooks are his fists. With which to jab, right? Absolutely, absolutely. What state is home to the Buffalo Bill Historical Center? Okay. Texas. No, not Texas. Toronto. Whoa. Okay. No, that's wrong on so many levels. No, it's not Toronto. Ass. As in ass. Arizona? No, it's not Arizona. It's not New York. It's a western state. It's not Oklahoma. It's not New Mexico. All right. I mean, there are only so many left, right? It's not Utah. It's the other one. No, the other one. I got to play Battleship with you guys. You will never sink my battleships. I swear. Colorado. No. Oh, no. Cowboys and Indians and damn. Wow. All right, there's at least Nebraska. No, not Nebraska. I mean, no, it's not that far west. That's a Pacific state, I would say. This is a western Montana, Oregon. No. Montana's closer. I mean, you're shooting all around it. Like, Idaho, no. North, no, not the Dakotas. No, not either of the Dakotas. It is not a North or South Dakota. Come on, what one state? Nobody said it. I'm sure nobody said it. Let me check here real quick. No, nobody said it. Nobody said it. Iowa, no, that's we call ourselves Midwest, but this is what I would definitely call Western state. I mean, if it's not Colorado and it's not Utah and it's not Nevada and it's I mean, yeah, that's what I'm asking you. What's left? It's not New Mexico. It's not Oklahoma or Texas. It's not Nebraska. Oh, wow. All right. I'm going to mail you guys a battleship game because I swear I'll never lose to you guys. Your guessing is just oh. All right. I can't take it anymore. I mean, I just no, it's not Kansas. It's gonna be a face palm. Wyoming. Why you guys why do you guys hate Wyoming? You have this mental block for Wyoming. Wyoming. Why not Oming? Yeah, you guys, I swear, everything. I think you guessed every other state in the whole area, at least twice. Wyoming, poor Wyoming, gets no respect. It's not a real state. Everything except, yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness. So anyway, that's where the Buffalo Bill Historical Center is located. Yeah. In the imaginary state of Wyoming, right? Okay. Okay. Here's one. I never heard of this Wyoming. All right, here's one. This is maybe easy, maybe hard. Okay, um, what religious leaders Siddhartha Gautama, better known as Siddhartha? Siddhartha. That's now it's not the his religion, but yeah, Buddha. That's right. Siddhartha Gautama was the great Buddha. That's right. Yep, yep. Yeah, Share was first. Black Dog got in there right after. Yeah. Um. Okay. Now this. All right. I mean, maybe Share will come up with this one too. This is another comic strip, an old comic strip. Old comic strip. I'm talking here, right? I think. Anyway, so who wielded his singing sword in the comics for 43 years? So this is a long running comic, I guess. But for 43 years, this comic character had a singing sword. Any ideas what the Dickens I'm talking about? Prince Valiant. What? You guys know this stuff. Holy smokes. I mean, I I would have been worse than you guys in Wyoming trying to guess this one. Prince Valiant? I mean, Dennis the Menace. There. Okay, that's about where I would have started, right? um his singing sword, Prince Valiant and his singing sword. Okay, all right. I am humbled. Um okay. Um no, that don't like that one. You read it every Sunday. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't familiar with that one. Prince Valiant, from around for 43 years. Okay. Interesting. All right, here's one. What famed wall supports the Badaling turret? What famed wall supports the Badaling turret? Come on, geography people. What famed wall? The Wailing Wall. No. How many other famous walls do you guys know? I know of about one. Oh, Black Eyed Dog, the only one left. Or right, the Wall of China, right? The Great Wall of China. Exactly. That's right, Brian. Yeah, the Great Wall of China has a turret called the Badaling turret. Oh yeah, wall. Yeah, I assume that's what is just a shortcut. The Wall of China, right? The Great Wall of China. Yep. Okay. Here's. Did I say turret? Sorry, turret. I think I did say turret. I don't know what I was thinking of. turret. Again, me and my terrible reading. Sorry about that. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Makes a big difference. Let's see. Anyway, moving right along as I blush embarrassedly. Which of the carpenters was born first? Still wouldn't have known. Yeah. Which of the carpenters was born first? Karen. No. So what's the other one? Ringo. Ringo Carpenter. Okay, so I take it that Brian is not a big Carpenters fan. Richard. That's right. Richard. We'll blame that on autocorrect there, Brian. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got lag. I saw Cher's answer well before you asked the question. Oh, I remembered Karen, but not Richard. Yeah. Yeah. Karen's a lot easier to remember. Yeah, the poor girl died of anorexia. Yeah. Wonderful voice, though. But, I mean, arguably, the brother was the more talented musician. You know, all the arrangements, he did all the arrangements and so on. Quite talented guy. But anyway, yeah. Okay, here we go. A little more history. What English king married his brother's widow? What English king married his brother's widow? All right. Again, I don't know how many British monarchs you know, but if you run down the list, it shouldn't take you too long. James, Edward, George. No. Come on. When you're thinking about kings of England, who's the horniest bastard you think about? Richard. No, not Richard. The other one. Charles. No, not Charles. Henry the Eighth. There we go. Henry the Eighth I am. Henry the Eighth I am. All right. All right. Here's a one that everybody will get quickly. So who can type it in the fastest? All right. He killed Anne Boleyn. Yep. All right. So let's let's do a little experiment here. All right. I'm going to count to 3, and then everybody type a 1 and enter as quickly as you can. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Wow. 2. Brian, you got to be difficult, don't you? Okay, so but there was quite a lag between Share and Brian. And Brian and Black Eyed Dog were fairly close. I think we've lost Charles again. Or maybe wow. Okay. All right. So here is the question. What chemical is most widely used in keeping swimming pools clean? What chemical is most widely used in keeping swimming pools clean? Chlorine. Yes, chlorine is the answer. Cl is also chlorine, and that's also the answer. Yes, chlorine, chlorine, and chlorine are the answers. That's right. Good job. All right. You guys, I have a pool. Okay, cool. Nice. You have a pool also. Okay. All right. How many points make a game in contract bridge? Okay. Any bridge players out there? How many points? How many points make a game in contract bridge? 8. More than that. 27. Nope. Is that cribbage or something? No, no clue. I'd love to learn bridge though. Yeah, bridge. That's one of those famous games that people of our parents' generation seem to be more into bridge. People of my generation and younger don't hear much about bridge playing. Oh, think big. Think. Yeah. Okay. If I leave it to you guessers, it'll. Yeah. Yeah. Between cribbage and pinochle, you got. Yeah. No, it's 10 squared. 10 times 10. I can't give you a better clue than that. No, 10 times 10. 100. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Sherry. You typed in an extra 0 there. Yeah. It was 100. All right. Final question of the day. And then I'm going to sign off and let you people go to bed. All right. So, let's see. Let's find a good one here. Oh, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to find a good one here if it's going to be the last one. Um, no. Wow. No, these are bad questions here. All right, here's one. I mean, it's ridiculously hard, but I pulled 3 cards and none of the questions were at all reasonable. This is bad too. Let's see. I mean, but at least it's music. And all right, we're talking about when JFK was shot. Okay, did you know that Wyoming is 97 square miles? No, I did not know that. That's pretty big. 1965. No. Not the so on the day that John F. Kennedy was shot. Now, on the day that John F. Kennedy was shot, Jimmy Gilmer's song was the #1 hit in the country. What was the name of that song? Jimmy Gilmer, Gilmer, Gilmer. Jimmy Gilmer had the #1 song in the country on the day that John F. Kennedy was shot. The day the music died. No. Candle in the Wind. No. It's got nothing to do with nothing. And that's not the title of it. No, it's just like the song. I barely remember this song, but it was a #1 song on that fateful day. No guesses. All right. Yeah. Sugar Shack. Wow. Impressive. Sound of Silence. Oh, that's the Simon and the Garfunkel there. And the day the music died, that was Jim McLean. That's a lyric from Jim McLean's American Pie, not Apple Pie, American Pie. Yeah. Not Jim McLean, Don McLean. I get my names mixed up. Yeah. Lived in Fort Worth on the day JFK died. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Last night I was talking to my sole audience member. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Talking about JFK and LBJ, how I really, really dislike LBJ and blame him for, or lay the majority of the blame on him and the people around him for the mess that Vietnam became. And I'm suspicious that had something to do with Kennedy's death. I mean, I still don't put it past. I'm still a conspiracy theorist type of guy, I guess. All right. Anyway, war in Vietnam. Yep. Yeah, the war at Vietnam, that's what got Kennedy killed. There were, enough people of power and influence that wanted the America in the war so that they could have the American war machine make money for them. And Kennedy was going to get us out. Not too many Kennedys left anymore. That's right. Yeah. They were, an elitist family, a lot of money and so on. But I really think that basically they were interested in helping America. Maybe because they had money, they weren't so desperate to help themselves, but I don't know. Anyway, my wife has our lunch ready, so I'm going to go get something to eat. The military industrial complex. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And, but LBJ is the one who really, started sending the troops. He's the one that escalated it. Yeah. All right. Terrible down note to end on. But anyway, thank you all for showing up here and spending some time with me. I enjoyed it. Yep. Thank you. Have a good rest. And I'll see you again very soon, I hope. Tomorrow's a busy day for me. I won't be broadcasting tomorrow. But after that, I'll have several days in a row. So look for me then. Okay. Take care and goodbye.